What a difference a day made. 24 little hours brought the sun and the flowers where there used to be rain. My yesterday was blue deep. Today I'm part of you, dear. My lonely nights are through, dear. Oh, since you said you were mine, what a difference a day makes. There's a rainbow before me. Skies above can't be stormy. Since that moment of bliss, that thrilling kiss, it's heaven when you find romance on your menu. What a difference a day makes, and the difference is you. Lonely nights are through, dear. Since you said you were mine, oh mine, what a difference a day makes. There's a rainbow before me. Skies above can't be stormy. Since that moment of bliss, that thrilling kiss, well, it's heaven when you find romance on your menu. What a difference and the difference is you. Is you. Is you. I am a poor wayfaring stranger while journeying through this world of woe. And there's no sickness, no toil, no danger in that bright world to which I go. rough and steep, and beautiful fields lie just before me, where God's redeemed their vigils keep. I'm going back to see my father. I'm going there, no more to roam. I'm only going over Jordan. I'm only going over home. Well, I want to wear that crown of glory when I get home to that good land. Well, I want to shout.
It's 8 o'clock on a Sunday. Regular crowd shuffles in. There's an old man, he's sitting next to me, making love to his tonic and gin. He said, "Son, can you play me a memory? I'm not really sure how it goes, but it's sad and it's sweet, and I knew it complete when I wore a younger man's clothes. La la la, la la la, la la la, la la la, la la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. Now John at the bar, he's a friend of mine. He gets my drinks for free, and he's quick with a joke, or he'll light up your smoke. But there's some place that he'd rather be. He said, "John, I believe this is killing me," as the smile ran away from his face. "Oh, I know I could be a big movie star if I could get out of this place." La 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 la, la 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 la. Oh, can sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody. I hope you are, and you've got us feeling all right. Pretty good crowd for a Sunday. I must get this piano tuned.
Yes, you must.
Listen to that.
Yes, you must.
I mean, it's
Not good. Not good.
Oh, dear me. 1889, this piano. I tell you what, though, it's better condition than I am, to be
That's
fair.
true.
After all these years, looking at it, it's quite good. What?
The
What are you gonna say?
hat has got mixed reviews, I would say.
Mixed reviews.
Mixed
All right, hold on.
reviews.
How's that?
Yes, they thought you looked a bit like a train driver. Has he got his head on backwards? And where are the string of onions? Those were the first few
Do you
comments.
know, can I
They're
tell you
so
something about this?
cruel
No,
to
can I tell you
you.
something about
They're
this
so
community?
cruel to you.
They are so out of touch with what is cool. And I am probably one of the great definitions of cool. Let's be honest. My clothes, the way I dress, the way I am
right.
in general, don't you find?
Absolutely.
Many of the community, I've seen them dressing like me.
They emulate you constantly.
Emulation, that is it. Emotion. No, that's not the same thing. It's different, but it's the same kind of thing. But the point is, anyway, how are they out there?
They're doing very well. They're very excited that we're back.
Yeah, I
Very
know. Well,
excited
it's
that
been
we're
a
back.
while,
been good.
folks. It's
Yes.
been a while, and I'm going to look at you now. Look, I've got new glasses. Did you see these? Did you see these glasses? Did you see?
I think you had them before.
Well, somebody said to me the other day, I have to say they make you look intellectual. I thought
You
it's
need
gonna
all the
a
help
lot-
you can get.
You need a lot more than this. It's going to make me intellectual. It's nice. Actually, I haven't played the piano. I haven't played the piano for a week.
No, you haven't.
No. I should practice, shouldn't I? Yeah, still there.
Anyway, hello everyone. Good to see you. Thank you for
It's a
joining
pretty
us.
good crowd
It is.
for a Sunday.
It is.
And a Sunday.
Sunday.
And it's not bad out there, the weather.
Weather's lovely.
The manager, well, she gives me a long-haired smile. Have you got my pearl thing on today?
I've got your pearls on, darling. Yes, he gave me this necklace. You can't quite see it.
That was the kidney pearl.
That's my kidney pearl and my
Okay.
earring as well.
And the earrings as well. The
Gave
earrings
me-
and
gave me-
the ring.
Yeah.
They're all to say,
And the necklace.
because I don't know, when you give me
I
something
gave him
else.
a kidney and he gave me 2 pearls.
Right. But can I say they were incredibly expensive? They were
They're
they were in double figures.
Lovely.
Let's
They're
not,
lovely.
because she knows that even with all that and your kidney stuff, I know everybody's out there. I know you're all out there wanting to see Sue. Because she knows that it's me. Let's be frank. He's been coming to see, to forget about life for a while. Oh, and the piano, it sounds like a carnival. And a microphone, it smells like a beer. And they sit at the bar and put bread in my jar and say, man, what are you doing here? La 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 la. Sing us a song, you're the piano man. Sing us a song tonight. Well, we're all in the mood for a melody, and you've got us feeling all right. As the piano dies away, we welcome you once more to another JV Live from
Straight into
Steinway.
a backing track. Well done, Rachel.
This is a song for my guest tonight. He's come all the way, well, a long, long way to be with us tonight. A very special guest. You're going to love him. His fields of gold. You remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley, you'll forget the sun in his jealous sky as you walk in fields of gold. So she took her love for to gaze a while on the fields of barley. In his arms she fell, as her hair came down among the fields of gold. Will you stay with me? Will you be my love among the fields of barley? We'll forget this sun in his jealous sky as we walk in fields of gold. I never made promises lightly. There have been some that I've broken. Oh, but I swear in the days still left, we'll walk in fields of gold. We will walk in fields of gold. Bit of Ralph Dolly Veira for you. I never made promises lightly. There have been some that I've broken. Oh, but I swear in the days still left, we will walk in fields of gold. We will walk in fields of gold. Many years have passed since those summer days among the fields of barley. See the children run as the sun goes down upon the fields of gold. You remember me when the west wind moves upon the fields of barley. You can tell the sun in his jealous sky when we walk in fields of gold. When we walked in fields of gold. When we walked in fields of I love that song.
Wow, it's beautiful, and Raoul is just awesome on the flugel.
He is.
Awesome.
And it was a
And
lovely
it's a
arrangement.
beautiful
We did it when we were arranging these songs. We just sat in a room like this, and we just said, "Why don't we do something a little bit different? A little
It's
bit
just exquisite.
It's so
Exquisite
difficult
version.
with Sting's version because he is what he is. He's iconic, and it's difficult doing iconic songs when you're doing stuff like this. But actually, it's one of those songs. And I reminded you before, and I'll say it again. When I recorded these albums, Lockdown Sessions 1, 2, and 3, particularly 1 and 2, I actually didn't believe that I would be around to hear them. And I certainly didn't believe I'd be around to sing again. So when I sung all the songs I picked, you know, the God on high, hear my prayer, hear my need. You have always been there. Is your him home, bring him home, bring him home. He's like the sun I might have known if God had granted me a son. The summers die one by one, how soon they fly, on, and I am old and will be gone. Bring him peace, bring him joy. He's young, he is only a boy. You can take, you can give, let him be, let him live. Bring him home, let me down, let him live. Bring him home, bring him home, bring him home. You call me out upon the waters, the great unknown, where feet may fail. And there I find you in the mystery, in oceans deep, my faith will stand. I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans rise, my soul rests in your embrace, for I am yours and you are mine. Ooh. Grace abounds in deepest waters. Your sovereign hand will be my guide. Where feet may fail and fear surrounds me, you've never failed, and you won't start now. So I'll call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans arise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours and you are mine. Spirit, lead me where my faith is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you would call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. Spirit, lead me where my trust is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters wherever you call me. Take me deeper than my feet could ever wander, and my faith will be made stronger in the presence of my Savior. I will call upon your name, keep my eyes above the waves. Oceans deep, and I will call upon your name. I will call upon your name and keep my eyes above the waves. When oceans arise, my soul will rest in your embrace, for I am yours, you are mine. The album back in recorded in Nashville in Tennessee about 6 years ago. Forgot we do that one.
That was especially for Jackie Lamb. Jackie, you had your birthday on Wednesday, and Owen tipped us off and said that that would be a good one for you. So thank you for that, because actually a lot of people enjoyed that.
Yeah. Now, interestingly, and it's always a principle here, that when we sing these songs, I was reading something on Facebook the other day, and it was somebody saying, "Oh, this is Hillsong. Therefore, because it's Hillsong, and Hillsong are having terrible trouble," which they are, and they deserve to be honest in so many ways. People say, "We will not sing any Hillsong songs." Well, don't be silly. Of course you are. You don't because somebody makes a mistake, you don't then go into failure mode. And so not at all. If the song is good, and the song touches many people.
It does.
And if it's useful and it's good and it's a contemporary song that says something, I will put a new song in their mouth. And when I was reading something Billy Graham said, about 30, 40 years ago, when somebody said, Billy, I listen to so many, the services, and they're introducing all these new songs, and I've got to be honest, I hate them. And Bill said, he said, when new songs come in, and when we were growing up in the 60s, I was desperate for new songs, because they were all we sung were hymns from Golden Bells, Sankeys, and Hymns of Faith, and the CSSM choruses. And that was it, and we were limited to that was all we could do. And when something like Youth Praise came away, bang, suddenly we would start, "Jesus is the Savior, whom I love to know," all that stuff. And when the road is rough and steep, fix your eyes upon, it was pretty, looking back, but they were new songs, and they came to the church. And so I love singing new songs if they've got value, if they've got musical value, and if they've got, more to the point, and as well, lyrical value, and this does have. There are things that you could question on it, but actually, who cares? It's lovely and it touches people.
It does.
Now, Sue, I just want to read a few bits and bobs.
Okay.
What? You got some stuff that's come up?
No.
No. So, in which case, it's over to JV. And this...
As usual.
Well, yeah, it is. It's the name on the can, Sue. I hate to break it to you.
I know.
But
I've got something to say, but not this.
Not this. All right. Okay. Now this is a little bit more light-hearted. I just came across. We were away for a few days, and we came across some names, and it sparked off all of you writing in. And I think actually our guest will tell us one a little bit later. But this one was I saw there's solicitors in the Isle of Wight, and it was A.J. Careless solicitors, not somebody you're going to run to use. But since we found out that a regular friend of ours, the wife worked for him for years, and he was very
And
good.
his daughter
and his
still
daughter's
works for
currently
him.
working for him.
So he's not careless. He's not careless by
at
nature.
all. Clearly not. Let
But
me
it was
take
funny.
these glasses off. It was very funny. And then Rita Mounsey, she wrote and said there's a care home near Southport that's called Abandon.
Oh dear. That's a bit sad, isn't it?
Right. We had a librarian, Louise Day, said a secondary called Mr. Careless. Again, poor man. And then somebody wrote, there are accountants. Andy Kate Steer wrote in and said there's accountants here called Swindles. I love that. If you can think of any more, write them in.
We'll
Write
read
them in
them
now.
out.
Do it right in, and we can do it live. Russell, yes, there we go. And my orthopaedic consultant, Louise. What is it about Louise? How do you collect all these things? Louise Day has said her orthopaedic consultant was called Mr. Chisholm. Mr. Chisholm. That's entertainment. It's entertaining, isn't it? You've got to say it's quite good. Amanda Clegg from Guildford, she wrote in and said, my first bank manager in the days when a girl's dad had to stand as guarantor. You had to have that for your card, didn't you?
I do remember that.
Yeah. Was a Mr. Borrow.
Gone to borrow for Mr. Borrow.
You can't write. It's Dickensian, isn't it? It's just positively Dickensian. What about?
I've got one here.
Go on
A
then.
plumber in Pontypool was called Dennis Puddle.
That's brilliant. That's got to be Gareth.
Thank
Thank you,
you,
Gareth. Oh, it would be, wouldn't we? Now, here we are. My first bank manager. We went to a furniture shop. Said Carrying Downs. There's one that she's put that I don't. Well, I'll just.
Okay, well, you hold
I'll
that
say-
one. Hold
go
that
on.
one. Roger Webb has just said Miss Keys was a teacher and left to get married to a Mr. Locke. He said it's true. It's true.
So we went to furniture shopping. Said Carrying Downs, and we're helped by a Mr. Linen Sofa.
Oh.
That can't be right. I mean,
I had
the
a
other one I
tutor
can't use.
I had a tutor at college called Mr. Marks and a dentist locally called Mr. Fang. And my midwife was Mr. Tugwell. Estate agent in Newport called Crook. So
Crook, there we are. See, what about a legal firm called Ed Varley, wrote this in from Guildford, he wrote in, called Liar and Fibs.
Oh, I don't believe that. That's sincere.
He said, I kid you not. So,
Love it.
Thanks, Roger, for that. There's another one. There's Elizabeth Mustard from Guildford. I don't know whether these particular ones from Guildford, called, she's a solicitor, and she said there's a solicitor's firm called Wright Hassel, WRIGHT, and that's HASSAL.
Karen Bates said our form teacher was called Miss Blizzard and she married a Mr. Storm. Of course she did.
She didn't. That cannot be right. Okay. Had two. Now this is funny. Mike Evans. Thanks for writing in, Mike. And thanks to all of you for writing in. Actually, we love it when you write in. The group is good. We've got nearly 1,000 people now in the online group. So please just come on in.
Yes, come
join
join
us.
us.
We'll just answer the questions. We'd be delighted to do you. And Victoria Moyes will send some bad jokes, as will John Daly. Had two colleagues in the bank, says Mike Evans, some years ago, Gordon Proud and Malcolm Humble. I mean,
Very
really.
good. Rachel, being Rachel, has finally put up on the screen, be part of something special, join the JV Community Official Facebook group. So if you're not a member of that group, this is what you need to do. Go on to facebook.com/groups/JV Community Official and you will join us.
And you'll join us at 930
you will be
or
asked
50.
three questions or two questions. I can't remember.
Please
which
answer
now.
them.
Please answer them because it makes life so much easier for us if you answer them.
And
Thank
you just
Thank
become
you.
a friend, and that's it. They're Phil Simpson, lovely Phil from the BBC. There used to be an estate agent in Kidderminster called Doolittle and Dally.
Doolittle Dally.
Dally. I'm going to put. Hold on, one more. I've got a Warwick called Hassel. Yes, Wright and Hassel. A teacher's called. There's one more. I think there's no.
Owen Lansing.
Oh, Beth Todd. Beth Todd. She wrote in, and she's from Australia. Hello, Beth. How you doing? There's a house I sometimes walk past with a for sale sign outside. Bless you. The real estate agent is Ben, and it's Hyra Piatian. He uses the slogan, a name you can't pronounce with a service you won't forget. Like that. Any more? Is that? Oh, yes. And how about as bad as a nurse death that I work with? Death.
Okay, one last one from me. Lots coming through, but one last one from me. My school friends set up a property service business in Spain called Bodget and Leggett.
See, that's that. You can't make that one up. No, she made that one up.
Can I just say, it's lovely to be back. We are enjoying seeing you all again. And I'm sorry that we've been away for so long, but we've been so busy. We went up to Scotland for a long time. And it was lovely going up to Scotland. It was very beautiful. And on the way, we made a little... Well, I did my usual sort of just quick click on Jonathan as we were crossing the border. And Rachel, I think you've got it, haven't you? Can you...
It's coming up. And it's right. No, it's coming up now.
No, not yet. But we
say, welcome to Scotland in England, and then English. And then we say, hi, Will. Welcome to Scotland. Hi, it's good to be back.
Oh, dear.
That's late enough. Do I go off web for you?
The funny thing about that is that it was just that short clip, and for some reason, it's gone viral. We don't quite know why. Well, viral. We've had over 5,000. The last count, it was 5,253 people had watched it. 5,268. So they're still going up, which rather amuses us because we'd make these little shorts in the hope that people will watch them. And often it's in the hundreds, maybe 1,000. But this has just gone crazy. And I just apologise because I had planned to make lots of little videos and so on and so show them to you. But unfortunately, my eye went a bit weird. So I couldn't actually see. So I couldn't make any videos. So I do apologise for that.
Sue, yes, it was. Yes. She was actually out of action. She was in a darkened room for
with
2 days, and then she had to go and have particular ointment in the eye.
And if you've ever tried to put ointment in your eye, you'll know it's not an easy process. You put it on your finger, you put it in your eye, you take your finger away, and it's still on your finger. So that was interesting.
Should we do it to the backing track? Who's this song for?
Which one? Promise of His Grace?
Promise of His Grace.
This is for a very special lady. This is for Linda Cloud.
Oh, yes.
Linda, you were 70. Am I allowed to tell everyone that?
Yeah, you are.
It's too
you
late
don't
now
look
anyway.
literally, love. You don't look a day over.
No.
About 73, to be honest. So
you
on that
were
one,
70 on Friday, and this would be a song for you. So
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Linda. Happy birthday to you. A really wrong song written by Paul Field and myself. Here we go. Across the changes through the years, eternal God, your love comes down to lead us on. So as we walk with you, our every step is holy ground. You are the God of endless love, Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. Lovely little figure that. Very Brahmsian, lovely. And we will seek to know you more in every word of every prayer. And you will keep your timeless faithfulness. Through every breath you will be there. You are the God of endless love, the Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. Here we try the harmony now. and fears come closing in, we lean on you when strength may fail. And Father God, you pour your Spirit down, the clouds will clear, the truth prevail. You are the God of endless love, the Lord of every time and place. You are the hope beyond our humanness. This is the promise of your grace. This is the hope for all the world. The nails that held God in our place. This is the love that brings forgiveness. This is the promise. This is the promise. This is the promise of His I see trees of green and red roses too. I see them bloom for me and for you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, a bright blessed day, the dark sacred night. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. When I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky are also on the faces of the people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you and you. Well, I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Oh, I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
Well, beautiful, beautiful song, beautiful playing, all off the Lockdown Sessions 1. Raoul on flugelhorn again, but just beautiful, beautiful work. So let's zip into the diary as it's standing at the moment. So this coming month in June, we have 2 dates. The 17th will be up in Southport. I know we're seeing a few of you up there, which is exciting. 24th of June we'll be in Newbury, and that's in Berkshire, and hoping to see a good number of people there too. July the 8th we're at the Connells Church, St John the Evangelist in Churchdown, which will be great to see them and all their friends. So if you're in that area, please come and see us. August, we are going to be up at Thornley Hotel for 2 weeks. So the first week we will be doing a music week, and that's what it's got up here. Do you know what? We don't quite know what we're doing, but we'll do something. You know what we're like. You know what we're like. It'll be a fun week. The middle weekend is very exciting because there is a concert at the Victoria Hall in Grange-over-Sands. So even if you can't come to either of those weeks, please come to that concert, because it will be Jonathan strutting his stuff on this big stage in the Victoria Hall in Grange-over-Sands. You will not want to miss that. Second week, again, back to Thornley. So you can either do a week and a concert, or a concert and a week, or if you were really strong stomach, you could do week, concert, and another week.
I don't think I can stomach you lot for the 2 weeks.
Okay, so September, at the end of September on the 23rd, we are in Stoke-on-Trent. Now, I've got a few more dates that I've just put in, so let's see if that page comes up. Yes, it does. Well done, Rachel. So we're in Stoneleigh, which is near Ewell, on the 28th of October at St John's Church. Then in December, we got a couple of great Christmas dates so far. One in Pett in Hastings, and the other one on the 9th will be in Paignton. Now, can I just say, if you want to know anything about those, you need to go to the website. You need to go to www.jonathanveira.com. The calendar is there with all the details of where you can find the tickets and so on. But can I just ask, if you are remotely interested in putting on a show at your church or in your area, please just write to me, and I've got lots of information that I can send to you. So I'm on sue@jonathanveira.com. And I would love to just chat with you about what's involved and how we can make it work for you. And where else are we going, Rachel? Oh, right, yes. Okay, so we have got some more Steinway dates coming up. You'll be pleased to know you've been very patient. In June, 28th, we've got next week. Which is just us two at the moment.
Just us two, but
which
we may...
All mayhem could happen.
Yes.
All mayhem could happen. Just the two of us in here next week, without Rachel to look after us as well.
Yes.
Then in June, we've got the 4th, the 11th and the 25th. And we don't quite know who our guests are going to be, but we...
You know I get people in that are going to...
We are looking.
I don't know if we're really hard up, we're going to get Richard back in.
But we've got some of these dates coming up, which is fantastic. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're doing very, very well. We've got, I think we've got more than 907 subscribers probably, but we've got over 900 subscribers. So just make sure when you go onto the YouTube channel, you find the JV YouTube channel and you click on the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything, but what it does is it gets our figures up. And the more figures we have, the better it will be. Because we can do all kinds of things when we hit that 1,000 mark. So we're looking forward to hitting that mark.
And we did win an award.
And we did win an award
the other week again for most engagement over that time.
Well, that was probably,
YouTube
that's probably our Scottish video. What I filmed.
Yeah, probably.
Right, that's enough of that. Where are we going to next, Rachel?
You got a friend.
Oh yes, you've got a friend. Trust. Mustn't forget that.
Can you just put me? Yeah, just put me on screen, will you, please?
Screen. He's going to be in a little box over my shoulder.
Yeah, that's okay. I don't mind little boxes. That's fine. Just as we've been away for so long, it's been difficult to remember about this charity. This charity was set up to benefit you if you need it. It's an arm round. We always say this, and Adrian Pinnock just saw him the other day. We're still encouraged by the fact that you are the community are contributing substantially to this, and we would love you to keep contributing so people can be helped when they are at their most needy. And that could be you. And we don't want you to be embarrassed. Come to either one of us if you're embarrassed, and we can set you on the track to finding that money to, I don't know, buy a washing machine or a bed or something that you might need, or help with maybe even a taxi fare because you're really, really, really strapped for cash at the moment. And we can help you to make that happen and to help you just function a little bit easier. We've had so many grants that have been given by our wonderful trustees who are working usually very, 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 very hard on this. And particularly Adrian Pinnock, we thank him for the work that he does in coordinating this. So if you want to contribute, please do. And if you want to claim, then please do. We would love to hear from you. Don't worry,
and
it
if
may be
you
a little
don't
too
know
small.
how to do it, just write to me, sue@jonathanveira.com.
Job done.
Job done. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's go back to Jonathan.
Yeah.
There he is.
Why don't I do
Which
a couple of
one
songs?
are
I
you going to
can't
do?
wait to get Richard in now.
Which one are you going to do? And I will say who it's for.
I think actually we'll do the His Eyes on the Sparrow.
Okay.
This
is particularly for Cindy, because you had a difficult experience yesterday coming across that young lad who'd been
died
killed
on the
and
road
he was
in front of
in the
her
middle
in
of
the
the
middle
road,
of the night.
and you found
Yeah,
that situation, and you were there, and you were helping the police.
Thank you for giving him a little bit of dignity.
Actually, do you know what? Thank you for responding, because not everyone would. So well done, Cindy. I know it was traumatic for you, but this song is for you, but it's also for dear Pat Woolridge. You are in hospital and it's difficult, and you are in a ward where there are lots of people who have dementia, and it's very hard for you to cope, and you are feeling very, very poorly. But we just want to dedicate this song for you because you are important and we care about you. So, and we're wishing you well and praying that you will get better very soon.
Why should I feel discouraged? And why should the shadows Why should my heart feel lonely and long for heaven and home? When Jesus is my portion, a constant friend is He. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eye is on that little sparrow, and I know He watches me. I sing because I'm happy. I sing because I'm free. His eye is on the sparrow, and I know He watches. Yes, I know He watches, and I know He watches me. Introduce the next one.
And the next song is specially for Ben's folks. His mum and his stepdad celebrate 14 years tomorrow, I believe. So congratulations to Christine and Steve. And this song is very appropriate for you, called Moments.
Written by our dear own Bryn Howarth, suggested for me by him, and I think it's touched many souls. On the album Moments, Lockdown Sessions 2. These are the moments that we love so well, precious moments caught within a spell. All too soon our lives, they fade away. These are the moments that we wish would stay. And if I had my life to live again, I would choose to be with you, my friends. Time moves slowly, yet it goes so fast, and who knows how long the days will cherish deep within you the love you get today. Let the moment linger, for tomorrow steals that away. tomorrow steals away. Bless us now, Bryn, come on. Lives like stories that we long to tell. When we're old with not so much to say, we'll have the memories that we made today. We'll have the memories that we made today. Lovely Bryn. And I'm going to have our guests coming in a second. Here's a song that I sung many years ago, right back on the stage, and somebody who has been on the stage for many years and written for the stage. You're going to want to hear this man. A fantastic story to tell. Stay tuned. This is La Vendetta.
La vendetta, oh la vendetta, è un piacer serbato ai saggi, è un piacer serbato ai saggi. L'oblio ardente del traggi, l'oblio ardente del traggi, e bassezza e ognor viltà, e bassezza e ognor viltà, e ognor viltà. Con l'astuzia, con l'arguzia, col giudizio, col criterio, si potrebbe con l'astuzia, con l'arguzia, col giudizio, col criterio, si potrebbe. Il fatto è serio, il fatto è serio, il fatto è serio. Ma credete si farà, ma credete si farà. Se tu il codice dove si foggia, se tu sull'ingine dove si leggere con un equivoco, con un sinonimo quale garbuglio si troverà. Se tu il codice dove si foggia, se tu sull'ingine dove si leggere con un equivoco, con un sinonimo quale garbuglio si troverà. Qualche garbuglio si troverà, si troverà. Tutta Siviglia conosce Bartolò, il birbo Figaro. Vinto sarà tutta Siviglia, conosce Bartolò, il birbo Figaro. Vostro sarà il birbo Figaro, vinto sarà il birbo Figaro, vinto sarà, vinto sarà, vinto sarà, vinto sarà.
Where are we? Are we on?
Yeah, excellent. Lovely. Well, that was a little bit of La Vendetta from JV back in 1997, where I had long black hair. And I was just saying to Richard, when I was in my prime, I think it was just that day after that, I started going downhill. After that, I was 36 years old.
You had a reverse Mohican.
Very good.
That's very good.
And
Very
can I
witty.
introduce you, ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause. Here we go. Big round of applause. It's Richard Everett. Now, he's Richard Everett, but as he's known to his friends, we know him as Ricky, his friends and family.
do.
So I think, actually, we're all friends here. So, ladies and gentlemen, Ricky. Everett, but Richard Everett, the playwright, the actor, the personality extraordinaire, and the man who's made me laugh for many years, and and just a thoughtful person in our lives. So it's been great, actually. So, Richard, welcome.
Thank you.
It's lovely to have you here, and
The music's good.
The music.
Yeah, I'm enjoying the singing. Have you ever thought of doing it for a living? You might get somewhere. I think you've got a future.
No, I don't know. It's just.
You think so, really?
Well, you know.
Do you know what? Can I just say I wasn't going to bring him home.
No,
was I?
we noticed.
No,
yeah.
I thought I'll
two
bring him home
songs in, and we were off piste.
We're off piste, but we don't care. Richard, it's so good to have you in here, and I've been over these 3 years now since we've been doing this. We've been having various guests in and personalities, people who are ordinary people on the street, and people part of the community. And people that I've known in the business as
and
well.
now you're scraping the bottom of the
barrel. And now I'm scraping that we've got nobody else, so here you are. What was that? I said, this clock's talking to me.
It's
I
9
hate
o'clock.
technology. We were in the same business. Although I was in opera, I was in theatre, and you in theatre. Tell us a little bit, just before we go back to your beginnings, but that what did you do for all those years?
Well, I mean, the first 10 years of my working life was I worked as a jobbing actor. I was a professional actor, and that was I distinguished myself really by leaving school without passing a single exam.
Oh, dear.
It's true.
You're going to encourage a lot of people out there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. The only exam I ever passed was my driving test, yeah, I mean, I was slightly dyslexic, but nobody really picked up on it in those days.
No,
and so I was told I was stupid and lazy. So
Were you really? Was it?
What, stupid and lazy?
Well, no. Was it what you were told?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, because in those days, if you didn't do, I mean, look, education in those days was based on a threat. Yeah. If you don't get it right, you get a smack.
Yeah.
So it's a kind of survival. It's a kind of process of surviving.
Did you hate school?
Hated every minute of it.
Really?
Begged my parents to take me. I was at boarding school.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it was not. That was not a happy experience. But
where were you?
I was at Mill Hill in North London. Oh. It was a kind of boarding private school.
Yeah.
But so when I left, the only thing, I mean, from the age of about 10 or 11, I really wanted to be an actor. I didn't quite know why, except that it was sort of confirmed by the fact that when I was in the classroom, the only way I survived was by being a nuisance. Yeah. And so I used to mimic the staff as soon as they turned their back. So I did a lot. So that way, that's how you survive. Yeah. You either go up or you go under. Yes. And so so I left school kind of. My parents were so disappointed. Really, I mean, I was surrounded by disappointment. I mean, every teacher I had just sort of look at me as if to say their career had come to an end, because they didn't know what to do with me at all.
So how were parents' evenings?
I think my parents hid. I don't think they came to parents' evenings. There's also I was looking through the old family movies the other day, and it was in the days of 8mm. Yeah. And I was used to beg my parents to not take me back to boarding school, and I've actually found some footage of my mother filming me waving goodbye to them.
Oh no!
Yes. Bye, darling. They were.
And you go, no, please
don't do this. Smile, darling, for the camera.
Oh,
no.
really?
I mean, yeah, but look, I mean, to be fair to my parents, I mean, the truth of it was that they came from a generation where the worse it the worse it was, the better it was for you.
Yes, yes.
So anyway, I mean, yeah, I left school literally without passing a single what they were O levels in those days, and GCSEs now, and all I ever wanted to do was to act.
Did you act in the school plays?
I was acting. Yeah, I did act in the school plays, and I mean, I didn't do anything terribly significant, although I was given some character parts which I loved, made everybody laugh, and but I just felt, you know, that I was sort of coming home in those moments. It was. So those were my the very first job I ever got. It was was in a summer season for the Carry On team. And
you're joking.
No, it was. Well, what happened, put very simply, was it was in the days when, in order to be an actor, you needed an equity card, and in order to get an equity card, you needed a contract.
And
I went to the guy who ran Wimbledon Theatre, and
lovely theatre.
Yeah, it was beautiful theatre. Yeah. And he did one of those kind of summer tours, which was actually probably a tax thing, because in order to lose money, basically. Yeah. Anyway, cut a long story short, I said to him, I'll do 6 weeks work for you, just doing anything, pushing the broom around the stage, so long as you give me 1 week's contract. And he said, yeah, done. So I rushed over to the equity office and said, I've got a contract. And they said, well, you can't have one of those without a union card, so we better give you one.
Wow.
And that's how I got my equity membership.
Can I just explain? I mean, I think we need to explain to people how difficult in those days it was to get an equity card. You couldn't get it was a vicious circle.
Yeah.
You couldn't get an equity card because you didn't get a contract. You couldn't get a contract because you didn't get an equity card.
Yeah.
And I remember back in the day. I mean, I'm a few years younger than you, but not a lot. And it was terrible. You couldn't work without it.
No.
And that's right, isn't it?
Yeah. And so absolutely. And I mean, basically, it was a sort of impasse situation, but people got around it in that's how they got around it. And
so it's a carry on.
So I was a carry on team, and my job was to primarily to get Charles Hawtrey on stage sober. Bless him. It's Charles Hawtrey was the little one with round glasses.
Oh yes.
And
I hope you all remember Carry On. I mean, goodness gracious me.
He was lovely, actually. He was very sweet, very kind man. And but he had to make his entrance through a trapdoor in the stage, so I had to go under the stage with him and
push him up,
push him up through the trapdoor like this. And he did like the champagne. He used to get through a bottle of champagne a night, but he would share it with whoever was around. And he was a very sweet man. And there was who else was in that? Kenneth Connor and various others. Anyway, that was my very, very first job.
Sid James.
No, they weren't. It was a kind of slightly second division.
Oh, right. so Kenneth wasn't there either.
No. Kenneth. No, not Kenneth Williams. No. But I, it was Wimbledon Theatre and the King's Theatre Southsea, which I think is a Matcham theatre by the very famous designer.
Frank Matcham. He did
wonderful theatre,
place.
Beautiful theatre.
One in Belfast, all over the place actually.
Yeah.
Up in Buxton.
Yeah.
Beautiful theatres.
Richmond Theatre.
Yeah, Richmond.
Yeah.
They're all fantastic.
I mean,
theatres.
for people anybody who doesn't know, Matcham, he was a brilliant theatre designer. And from an actor's point of view, you just knew when you were in a Matcham theatre because you could hit the back row of the stalls without any problem whatsoever.
No amplification. That's it. You could just do it.
Absolutely beautiful.
They were actually. So you went from that to get your equity card.
Got my equity card.
And then what happened?
Well, I was just very fortunate. It was at an age when there were a lot of films and productions with young people in them. And I got a very good agent. And one of the very first jobs that I did was a Galsworthy play at the St Martin's Theatre with Richard Briers playing a juvenile read.
You've got a picture?
Well, I have actually.
Come on,
yes.
give me the picture and I'll put it in front of the...
Okay, I've got... This was... Let me see if I can find it.
I've lost them both off the screen.
Here we go.
You both disappeared. Oh, there he is.
So that's...
Oh, Jonathan's going to show it.
Oh, this one.
Okay. So that is me in the very background. That's Richard Briers as the as the
it's
juvenile lead.
You peering through the window.
Yeah, me peering through the window. And
Where's Richard?
he's at centre screen.
Yeah, there he
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. And Eric Portman is just to the right of the picture on the other side. Go the
Other
other
side,
way.
other
Other way,
side.
other way,
No,
other way,
that's
other way.
it.
That's Eric Portman, who is a lovely old actor. And I tell you, the guy on the other side, just quickly, the other side, was an actor called John Forrest, who played Flashman in the original Tom Brown School Days.
Yeah, I remember those. I remember, loved those.
Yeah.
Was terrified by them though.
Yeah. It was, so that was that. Yeah.
Now,
So So anyway, yeah, that was my very first job. Then I did a movie called If, which became a kind of
very famous.
Yeah, became a sort of cult, huge cult film. And working with Lindsay Anderson was wonderful. I mean, he was a wonderful theatre director. But I was with a whole group of young actors, people who were young then, Malcolm McDowell. Judy Geeson, loads of Richard O'Sullivan, loads of people.
The real names of the...
Yeah, and we Robin Asquith. Robin Asquith I'm still in touch with, actually, who was the Confessions of a Window Cleaner. Dear Robin. He became... Actually, Robin was a drummer in a band that I had.
Yeah. Oh yes, you talked about this, didn't you?
Well, yes. Yeah. He took over from Peter Gabriel. Because
start a bit further back.
Start a bit further back. Okay. Go on.
Okay. Well, Pete Gabriel and I were at school together when we were about 7 or 8, and we sat together at the back of the class, getting kind of fed up, really. And we sort of kept in touch, but we lived quite near each other. He lived in Chobham and I lived in Woking. And then as we moved into our teens, we had a band together, a local band.
Yes.
And but I fired him.
You fired
Peter Gabriel.
Yes, I fired him.
So he decided to form what?
Well, he went on to this little band called Genesis, but no, actually, bless him. He
You could have been that.
Look,
you could have been in that.
It was one of my better career moves. I mean, it was, but he was what? No, I haven't. No, but I will in a minute.
Okay,
let me know. Actually, he was such a talented musician from such an early age, and I was doing Kinks and rock and roll and Rolling Stones numbers.
Yeah.
And
what, singing, playing?
Well, he was actually playing. He was on the drum kit in my band. He was really. I mean, he played everything, but he kept not being on the drum kit, and he had a piano in his sitting room where we used to rehearse.
Yeah.
And he kept going over and doing sort of Alan Price and Georgie Fame stuff.
Yeah.
And I said, Pete, I think we're into different kind of stuff. And he said, yeah, man, I think so too. But look, so
I love that. I think you could reconsider that one, couldn't you? You could have been one of the biggest bands.
I was going through some files and stuff the other day. I found a letter from him not very long ago, actually. And he's so talented. I mean, I actually think back to those days, and I think, just actually to have been in a band with him for half an hour.
Oh, yes, that will do.
It will do. And I love the fact that he's gone on to be such a musical genius, actually.
Nice guy?
Oh, so gentle.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah.
I mean, I can still see him and me sitting in our short trousers at the back of the class, sort of humped over our desk, thinking this is really boring. I'm not having a good time at all. And he didn't like football, and I didn't like football,
No.
and we were complete fish out of water.
Yeah.
And
isn't it interesting though? I mean, just to pause and parenthesize for a second, that I think there are an awful lot of people out there that identify exactly with that. I hated school the same way.
Yeah.
And actually, I think back to all of the friends that I've seen when I was at school, and none of them have done what I've done because I wasn't acceptable in the normal flow of stuff.
Yeah.
And so people like you tend to go, well, I can't do this, but I can do this.
Yeah.
So people like Peter Gabriel, you're outside. Don't you think that's right, Sue?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but the trouble is, school is so narrow that actually what you get is children being told they've got to do maths, they've got to do French, they've got to do other things that they're not very good at. and they're not encouraged to do the things that they're really, really good
Nick,
at.
think about that.
Yeah,
You know, our own Nick,
yeah.
you know, who hated school until the very last year, pretty much. And then when he was pointed in the direction that actually he could do.
Yeah.
And look at him, he's flying now, and he loves doing what he does.
But I have to say, it's fast changing. It
Yes.
really is.
Yeah,
And
I
I
think
have
you're right.
I have 3 grandchildren, all 9, 7, and 5,
Yeah.
and they're at a school where I'm really amazed at how they are being treated as potential.
Yes.
Potentially gifted, and the whole emphasis of their education is trying to find out what they do best.
Yes.
Not telling them what they've got to do,
Yes. Yes.
but trying to find out what they do best.
That's what all 3 of us we were
And I
shaped
would love,
in that way.
I wish I'd been at a school
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
do. But I'm pleased that people have woken up. But I mean, when I think back, my father, bless him, was paying large sums of money for me
For
to
you to
be.
sit at the back. to beat the
Well,
game.
not only sit at the back, but to be taught in a way which would send most people to prison these
Yeah.
days.
Yes. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
I mean,
sad, isn't it?
that. Yeah.
But that's another story.
That's another story, isn't it? I mean, that abuse and all kind of manipulation and beatings and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
But you went on. You showed me a picture earlier that must have thrilled your father.
Well, my father. Yeah. So when I went on to start working as a jobbing actor, and I was very lucky working with some wonderful directors, and there was Tony Richardson, who was very famous director at the time, big mover and shaker in the Royal Court Theatre, and did a lot of big feature films. He was doing a production of Hamlet with, and it was a fantastic cast he'd assembled. Anthony Hopkins was playing
Oh my,
Claudius.
really?
Yeah.
Anthony Hopkins.
Marianne Faithfull was playing Ophelia. Mick used to come and collect her every night from the theatre. I ended up dancing with Mick Jagger at the end of show party. But
I knew you'd be good value.
But anyway, it was a fantastic cast, and
Wow.
Michael Pennington was playing Laertes, Gordon Jackson was playing Horatio. I mean, the cast. It was a wonderful cast. Anyway, if anybody knows anything about Shakespeare, you'll know that in the early days, all the female parts were played by young boys.
Yes.
And I was 19, and I was sort of kind of quite pretty, and so
You
I
still are.
Bless you. Yes, I
You
know.
are.
I still think you had a reverse Mohican, but but anyway, I was cast. If you know Hamlet, in the middle of the play is a fantastic scene, the players' scene, where a group of travelling players come in and re-perform the murder of Hamlet's father.
Yes.
So it's a fantastic scene with some great speeches. I was cast as the player Queen. And it was it was such a break for me. And we went to New York. I did it on Broadway.
Gosh.
And it was,
Gosh.
I was so excited. I mean,
Wow.
But
19.
But this was the thing: is that my father, who actually loved Shakespeare,
Yeah.
and he suddenly thought, "Oh, that's good." Having been a bit worried about being in the Carry On team and which was a play about public schools or how not to be at a public school, etc., etc. My father suddenly thought, "Oh, tights and swords, and that's rhyming couplets.
That's the one.
This is going to
I
be.
am Big Pentameter.
I think it's all right.
Yes.
It's going to be okay." Well, actually, what happened was that the play scene was beautifully choreographed by an incredibly famous choreographer at the time called Eleanor Fazan, and I was given the most amazing outfit. And so when my father came to see this production, thinking he was going to see me striding across the stage with a sword and in tights and doing rhyme and couplets, actually, what he was faced with was this. You've got to come back a bit.
Back a bit.
Back a bit. Back a bit. There you go. No, nearly.
Oh dear, this is rubbish, isn't it? Okay.
Just,
Oh my goodness.
can you see it?
Very small one to do.
It's.
There you
Oh,
are.
you look lovely.
That.
Betty didn't even
Look at that.
recognise you.
So
Look
that
at
makeup.
that. Oh my
I used to
word.
do that makeup every night, and I could do it in 12 minutes
Oh my goodness.
because I was playing other parts in it as well in the play as well. But that, that.
extraordinary.
But we can imagine my poor father.
Oh my word.
Oh, poor dad.
He
sitting
must have
there.
been. Oh my goodness. Son, what did he say to you?
Well, I see to be silenced. I mean, he was just silence, bless him. I mean, it was not what he wanted for his son. You know, he hadn't paid all this money to
go to New York.
Basically, to go to New York as a drag act. I mean, you know. But it was a fantastic. I mean, we toured America with it and did it for 2 to 3 months on Broadway. And which was just an amazing start, really, for me. I mean, I had done a couple of films and stuff, but I went on working and then just carried on working as a jobbing actor. I did a production of Room with a View with Timothy West and Derek Jacobi at the Albury Theatre. I was playing Freddie in Room with a View, which
great role.
But I kind of got fed up, really, with waiting for the telephone to ring, because these are all high moments, but, I mean, there's sort of months in between when nothing's happening. So I ended up sort of running my own theatre company with a bunch of out-of-work actors.
And what was that called?
Well, it was called Upstream.
Yeah.
And
Up in London, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. It was fantastic. It was a great experience. We basically what happened was there was a group of us who were all out of work, and I'd got quite a strong faith by this time, and I was being encouraged by certain members of my church to find a better job, a healthier job. I remember this lovely guy came up to me and said, "So what do you do for a living?" So I said, "I'm working as an actor." Right. So what are you going to be doing now? So I said, "I don't know quite what you mean." "Well, it's not a very healthy activity for a young actor, you know, young Christian, you to be a Christian boy to be doing. You need to get all sorts." I said, "What do you mean unhealthy?" "Well, it's just, you know, the people, and I mean, it's just not healthy."
Going to banking, it's much more decent. Yeah.
Well,
right.
that was the point. Was that I said to him, "So, what do you do?" And he said, "I work as a banker."
Touché.
So I said to him, "With all due respect, I think you've probably got a bigger problem than I have." And he said, I don't know what you mean." And I said, "Well, I'll keep doing what I do.
And you keep doing what you do.
So, but there was, at this time, there was a certain kind of suspicion of anybody working in the arts. For me, this was a complete anomaly. I mean, I'd spent a lot of my life so far trying to get to a place where I felt at home. And suddenly it was being suggested to me that my faith and my work were incompatible, and there was conflict. So, cut quite a long story short, there was a wonderful vicar of a church in Waterloo, right opposite the Young Vic Theatre. And he said to me, "Why don't you?" He said, "I've got a very big building which is underused. Why don't you turn it into a fringe theatre?" And there were 6 of us, all out of work, and we designed on the back of a fag packet a 120-seater auditorium, and we went out and salvaged timber from local demolition sites and from the Ulvik sets, which were up the road.
Yeah.
And we established the Upstream Theatre and it became an established fringe theatre for some years. Yeah. And I tell you what was remarkable about it was that one of the people the guy who had said to me, "You need to get a different kind of job," actually I invited him to come and see what we were doing. And he said to me, "This is terrific what you're doing. It's very good. I'm really enjoying it." And we were doing quite a broad kind of thing. I mean, we were doing Sartre plays, Dostoevsky, Victor Hugo adaptations, as well as various things that we'd written ourselves. And he said, "Oh, it's really quite fun, isn't it?" You know. And I said, "Yes, it's more than fun, but thank you for coming." But he said, "Tell me something. How do you all survive? You've got mortgages and things." And I said, "Well, we split the box office and we hope for the best." And he said, "But that's not very responsible, is it?" So I said, "Well, what do you suggest?" And he said, "Let me think about it." And you know, he underwrote the salaries.
Oh my days.
So from criticising you, seeing what you were doing, what an incredible turnaround.
And he underwrote the salaries. And the amazing thing was, and I thought this was such a profound, a quietly profound moment, was that we then became the only fringe theatre who could issue equity contracts to people who worked for us.
Oh, gosh.
And we used to go, because we invited other companies to come and use the space if we hadn't got a production.
Yeah.
And,
So you got money from that as well.
And not only that, we used to go to the theatre companies, the others who were doing other shows around London, with the vicar. Because he loved it, and he used to come with a briefcase with contracts, and if we saw a show we liked and wanted them to use the space, we used to go in and David Wickett, his name was, and we'd say, would you like to come and use our space? Oh yeah, but you haven't got any money. No, well, we'll pay you equity contracts. And so our salaries were underwritten by city businessmen, basically, who didn't really understand what. And I thought, this is a moment we're almost rediscovering something in history where the arts are being sponsored by financiers and philanthropists.
Yeah, which is actually a good thing.
Well, it's a wonderful thing. I mean, that's how it should be. And there was a moment of kind of breaking new ground, actually. And I love the fact that they didn't really fully understand what we were doing.
No, it's even better, isn't it? It's even better. Let me sing a song. We'll have a little moment, and then what I want to do is I want to go on to, and Rachel, if you're, could you do me after I've sung this song, and could you put on the video, please, or from the play? The small. You got it right. Good. And I'm going to sing this song. When we were yesterday, Friday. I was out at a wellbeing cafe for people with mental health issues and people who are just lonely, and I sang Moments to them. And the guy next to me, bless him, I meant to say this to you. Moments, the Bryn Howarth song, and he touched me on the side on the assignment, and I sung When We're Too Old with Not So Much to Say, These Are the Moments I Wish Would Stay. And he just touched me and he said, thank you for singing that. He said, that's really touched my soul. He said, I lost my wife a year ago after 58 years of being together, or whatever it was. And he had his little dog Pebbles that he brought with him, and they're sitting in this room and do this. And then I sung this song that we've all sung for a long time now, for 3 years, and it became the group song here that you recorded with me and sent hundreds of videos and soundtracks that joined in with the soundtrack, and with my sons singing and Sue singing as well. And it's you joining with me. I'll just do it on the piano. When you're down and troubled and you need some love and care, when nothing is going right, close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. And you just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You've got a friend. If the sky above you grows dark and full of clouds, that old north wind begins to blow. Keep your head together now and call my name out loud, and soon I'll be knocking at your door. Sing it, me, come on. You just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. Now ain't it good to know that you've got a friend when people can be so cold? They'll hurt you and desert you and take your soul if you let them, but don't you let them.
just call out my name, and you know wherever I am, I'll come running to see you again. Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you gotta do is call, and I'll be there. Yes, I will. You got a friend, oh darling. You got a friend, my sweet darling. You got a friend, my baby. You got a friend.
Ain't that the truth?
Let's have the video.
How long did you say we'd been in here?
About 9 months, I reckon.
You've got hair, I see.
Have I?
You've had it for weeks. Hadn't you noticed?
Well, it's a bit difficult to see from here.
I like your eyebrows and fingernails too.
Yeah, I've had those for weeks as well.
Have I got eyebrows and fingernails?
Of course you have. We're twins. We've both had them for months.
There's an awful lot of plumbing going on in here, don't you think?
Yeah, and if you ask me, it's a shocking piece of design.
Oh, you think there might be a designer then?
I didn't say that, but if there is, he should be fired.
Or she?
Eh?
Nothing. You reckon 9 months is a long time?
It is with you beside me.
Don't be like that. You're such a grumble guts. Why can't you cheer up a bit?
What is there to be cheery about?
Well, whatever happens next.
Nothing happens next, I've told you.
Well, I don't believe that. There's got to be something more. I think this is just the beginning.
Well, you believe away. I'm a realist. It's just you, me, and the amniotic fluid.
Well, I think you're wrong.
Where's the evidence? Can you show me any evidence?
Like what?
Exactly, there isn't any. So if you can't see it, don't buy it.
How do you know you've got hair?
Eh?
You can't see your hair. How do you know it's there? Where's the evidence for that?
You told me.
I might be lying.
Are you lying?
No.
Well, then I'll believe you.
Aha. So you do believe in things you can't see then?
Yeah, well, that's different. Can you move your elbow a bit?
Oh, sorry. Sorry. Is that better?
No. You've put on weight.
So?
So stop doing that, otherwise we really will have a problem. One of us will have to go, and it won't be me.
Go where?
Anywhere but here.
So let me get this straight. You think there's no designer, nothing beyond this, and no reason for us to be here?
Why does there have to be a reason? It's an accident. End of. You'll be telling me next you think there's a mother.
Well, as a matter of fact...
Oh, please. A lovely, benign person out there who loves you, knows you, and looks after your every need.
Why? What's wrong with that?
You'll be saying next we'll be able to stand up.
Better than that. I think we might be able to walk.
Oh, well, if nothing else, I have to admire your faith. Meanwhile, I've got a better idea.
What?
Well, we haven't had a good kick for a while, and I could do with a stretch. What do you say?
On the count of 3.
1,
2.
3.
There, yes, I can. Are you sure it's not twins?
Don't be ridiculous.
That's not even funny.
What was that? I thought I heard voices.
Nah, must be your imagination. Maybe it was your famous mother.
Well, you can laugh, but it's what I happen to believe.
Well, for your sake, I hope you're right. And if you are, I'll see you there.
On the other side.
on the other side, wherever that is. Hey, what are you doing?
I'm not doing anything.
Yes, you are. Your head's heading downwards. Where are you off to?
Don't know. This is weird.
Hey, where's all the water going? Oi! Oh, pull the plug out.
See you later, grumble guts.
Where are you going?
According to you, nowhere. But it certainly looks like somewhere to me.
Hey, don't leave me here on my own. Wait for me. Hey, I'm coming too. Wherever that is.
I love that one. I really love that sketch.
Yeah,
Written
you love
by
that.
our very own Richard Everett.
Yeah, I mean, it's Richard.
It's a great sketch.
It's great.
Really good.
You've done. Now people would have watched that and been quite moved, and they'll will want to watch it again. And the great thing is, everybody, you can go and watch this again and again and again. It's available almost immediately after the show, and you can just watch it again on YouTube, on my YouTube page. And you can look up Richard Everett.
We've got it here, so it's richardeverett.co.uk, and they can watch them there, can't they, Ricky? Because you've done several.
There's several sketches that we've filmed. From my book Soundbites. Actually, in fact, that one in particular doesn't come from Soundbites, but there are others that.
You're going to read a few for us. You're going to do a few.
Before we get there, let's explore the fact that you were an actor, you set up, but now you're very much a playwright.
Yeah. Well, I think basically what happened was that running a theatre company is great, but you spend most of your time making it possible for other people to do things you'd quite like to be doing yourself. And so that's quite exhausting. But so I did it for a while, and I enjoyed it, but I came to a point where actually I was married at the time, and my wife and I were doing a TV series. We played husband and wife on a lunchtime TV series, which was probably one of the worst things I've ever done in my life. It was actually done at Southern TV Studios, and they used to virtually had to get the sheep out of the studio before we actually went in to record anything. It was one of those. But we did 26 episodes of this lunchtime thing.
Goodness.
And
I never saw it. What was it called?
It was called Together. And actually Talk, I think there's a channel called Talk TV on which...
And they've got it?
They do it. They show it from time to time. And
that's worth it. I'm going to definitely search it now on YouTube.
They
Together. It's called Together, everybody.
It's called Together. We actually played husband and wife in it. And anyway, it's enough about that. But I made enough money to while we were doing that. I started scribbling, and we made enough. My daughter had been born by then, and we made enough for me to really stop running the theatre company and to write for a year, just to try and see whether that had legs. And I tried everything. I wrote screenplays. I wrote a couple of radio plays, but just to try and find a style. And after about 8 months, I remember there was the Theatre Royal at Windsor said, we really like that play, your play, and would you accept £500 advance royalties? So I said, well, yes. And in the same week, the BBC Radio 4 bought a radio play of mine, and I thought, oh, right, okay.
Okay, not so shabby.
Not so shabby. Maybe I can do this. And to be honest, I've never looked back.
No.
And now, I mean, I have 6 plays in publication, and I worked a lot in kids animation. I've written about 200 kids' animation scripts over the years, including adapting some of the Mr. Men books into script. And I wrote
Mr. Men.
the Mr. Men. I wrote a Mr. Men Christmas special, which was such fun. I had it was a half hour.
Yes.
And I had to incorporate as many Mr. Men as I possibly could for the Christmas special. But
so who did? Was that Dave Cook doing the?
No, Dave wasn't
He
involved
wasn't
in
involved
that.
in
I was
that.
working with Adam Hargreaves, who was Roger's son, and Jeffrey Palmer was doing the narrator for it.
Jeffrey Palmer.
And then I did various kind of animations. I did one with Ronnie Corbett doing the voiceovers, and I mean, animation was great fun. But interestingly, the reason I got into animation was because I got writer's block at one point, which was really scary. I mean, one talks about it in slightly light-hearted terms, but it's a very I think a lot of artists experience this, where you suddenly, it's the imposter syndrome. You suddenly, I walked into my study one day. I'd been commissioned to write a new play by the Watermill Theatre at Newbury, who'd done 2 of my plays by then. It's a wonderful theatre, by the way, the Watermill at Newbury. If anybody's in that, you're going to Newbury.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah.
In fact, we are going. Aren't we going there?
To the Methodist, the large.
We did. We played.
We did play the Watermill.
We played the Watermill.
Watermill
It's a lovely theatre.
Wonderful theatre, and there was at the time it was run by Jill Fraser, who died not quite a few years ago now, but she was wonderful, very encouraging. Interesting, isn't it? You know, no one does anything without encouragement.
No.
And in my working life, always the best moments have been when I've been encouraged.
Yes.
And it isn't that people just say nice things about you, but really people who know what they're talking about can tell you what your strengths are, what you can do well, and what you don't do well, actually.
Yeah.
And Jill was one of those people. Anyway, so the Watermill, So I can't. Oh yes, animation. I got into to writing various bits of animation, and the Watermill had commissioned me to write a play, and I walked into my study one day and I sat down and I thought, I know how to do this, and I looked at the computer screen. We were just moving on to computers then. And I thought, I don't know how to do this, actually.
Frightening.
And it's the most terrible feeling, because you suddenly think, I'm about to be found out. I've got away with this for a certain amount of time, and I am about to be found out. And I could not think of anything. And, of course, it's a downward spiral, that. And it ended up with writer's block. I literally couldn't go into my study without really having a meltdown. So I actually stopped writing for several months, and then a friend of mine who worked in animation, who developed the original Mr. Men films for Roger Hargreaves, rang me up one day and he said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "Well, not a lot." And he said, "I'm doing a series called Nellie the Elephant." And he said, I need about 10 or 15 stories. Do you want to have a go? And I did, and that's how I got back into writing again.
Through Nellie the Elephant.
Through Nellie the Elephant.
Bless her.
Yeah, Nellie the Elephant. And then I did some of the Mr. Men for him, and then I did. I actually created a series for Dorling Kindersley called Dig, Dug and Daisy, which was great fun. Actually, we did that. That Channel 5 bought that, I think, in the end. But that was an interesting one, an interesting lesson in animation, because Dorling Kindersley, who used to do these beautiful children's coffee table
we
books.
got Sue Strawn used to sell them, didn't she? Who's
they
online.
said to me, could you come up with a format for trucks and dumpers? And I said, what do you mean a format? And they said, well, we'd like a couple of workmen showing children around diggers and dumpers. And I said, that's really boring. And they said, what do you mean really boring? And I said, well, look, if you want to do what children love is grown-ups getting it wrong. So if you're going to have two people showing them around diggers and dumpers and things like that, they need to be two blokes who are getting it hopelessly wrong. And then there needs to be a little girl who comes in and gets it right for them and has to get them out of every mess. And so I created this series called Dig, Dug and Daisy for them, and Channel 5 bought it, and that's out there somewhere, actually. I occasionally
Dig, Dug and Daisy.
Dig, Dug and Daisy. So there was animation, and then I got back into writing for the theatre, and where I am most at home, I think.
Well, entertaining angels and...
Well, entertaining angels.
Talk about that a little, will you, just before we go on to your other things because time is starting.
Just before I finished animation, when I finished animation, I went on quickly to write. I say quickly to write. It was an 8-year project. I wrote a movie called Two Men Went to War.
Oh, and that's wonderful.
Oh,
did
you have that poster? Yeah,
I do.
Just so you no.
And you can find this. I looked it up. You can find it on it's Amazon.
It's Amazon.
I think you might find it on Amazon. You might even find it.
It's a very funny, very moving film. It's
I tell you
fantastic.
what, I found it in Godalming Library. The original story. It's a true story, and it's of two men who were army dentists, and they decided they wanted to be transferred to a fighting unit, and so they stole a bag of hand grenades, 2 revolvers, and a box of bullets.
Got on a boat.
And more than that, they invaded France.
Yes.
Just the 2 of them when it was occupied by the Germans. This is true. This is absolutely
true. I saw the film.
And they invaded France, and the thing that absolutely sold it to me as a movie was that when they arrived in France, they expected to sort of die heroically, and they were terribly serious about it. They thought they'd die in a hail of bullets, and actually they couldn't find any Germans. And they wandered around trying to find useful things to do and cutting telephone wires, and then they got worried because it might be to a hospital.
Yes.
And I mean, they were just wonderful. Anyway, Two Men Went to War with Derek.
Look for that. That is fantastic. Who was it with?
It was with Derek Jacobi and Kenneth Cranham and James Fleet, a wonderful English cast.
Yeah, it was.
Leo Bill. Anyway,
wonderful.
Theatre was really where I'm most at home, and as I say, I've got a few plays in publication now. But Entertaining Angels was the last one that was done at Chichester with Penelope Keith, and it's had the amateurs love it.
Yes,
it's had. It's had, I think, nearly 200 productions now
Goodness.
around the world.
It's fantastic, isn't it?
It's lovely. I mean, a lot of them are amateur productions, but there is talk of the possible revival of it, and we'll see. I don't know whether that'll happen or not.
We went to see it at Chichester.
Yeah, in fact, I found it very interesting because I don't know whether you remember, but I came to see it at Chichester, and then you went away and you tinkered with it because
I
it's
did.
not quite right.
Yeah.
And it was fascinating to see it, first of all, when I thought it was wonderful and marvellous, and you said, no, it's not quite right. And you went back and you cut out a couple of characters, and you just honed it, and it was fascinating because it's the story that's actually got a really large part for a woman, and that's quite rare in theatre, actually, to have something that strong for a woman.
Yeah.
And she plays, she's a vicar's wife, isn't she? And he's died.
It's a completely dysfunctional clergy family.
Yes.
And like we all know them.
And it's very witty, and it's just beautifully done.
I want to get on.
Oh, okay.
Because
sorry.
No. I'm just saying.
I've got a look.
Got a look. There wasn't a look. I'd like to have you read some of your.
Well,
Because you've got a book that you published. You wrote some stuff for churches.
Yeah, I did.
And it's called Sound Bites.
Yeah, it is. Basically, what happened was that because churches kindly asked me to write things for particular times of the year, Christmas, Easter, Father's Day, Mother's Day. I eventually had a drawer that wouldn't shut of these kind of things. And so Lion Publishing, Monarch, actually asked me to just put them all together for a publication. And the idea is that they can be done with minimal amount of rehearsal.
Yes.
Because one of the things that I always dread is seeing 100 children with tea towels coming over the horizon, all wanting to rehearse for weeks. And, whereas, I mean, that's fine. That's wonderful when it happens. But there is often that moment when somebody says, we've got Father's Day coming up. Can we do something with... It requires 15 minutes of reading, because I've written for radio, and they work like radio plays.
Yes.
So Soundbites has, actually you can get a copy of it off my website.
Yes.
So it's have a look.
And then write it and buy it. Everybody.
Well, yeah, but so that's got sketches for Christmas. Junior Angel explaining to a senior angel that the Bethlehem Hilton was booked, that kind of thing.
Yes.
It's
so they're humorous tales with
they're all
with a sting in the tail.
They're all quite fun. They're very good. They're great for family services, and they're great for kind of guest services and things like that.
Christmas Day services.
Christmas Day services. Even the Royals actually were apparently turned out that Kate and William were at a Christmas service, and when they were doing the one about the Junior Angel, actually, and laughed their heads off at the back pew. And so it's had a royal seal.
It's a royal seal of approval, dear.
But at the back of the book is also 1 or 2 meditations. And,
Go on, go for it.
So I could just quickly read one of these. This is slightly more...
You'll have to come back. You do realise you'll have to do
realise
this
that,
again.
yes.
Because
There's still so much we've not talked about.
So much, yeah, exactly. So much we haven't covered, and I do want to talk about a lot of stuff again. So do come again.
All right. This is called Where Are You? Sometimes you seem so distant, so far away, so out of reach. We talk of an intimate walk with you. We speak of our close relationship. We proclaim a gospel of your presence, Emmanuel, God with us. And yet, at times like this, like now, like right now, I ask, where are you? Because this is when it matters. This is when it counts. This is when I need to know you're real and feel the power of your presence, the presence of your power, and the strength of your love. But I scrabble around in scripture in search of a picture, a word, a verse, a holy crumb of comfort from your table to enable me to say, ah, yes, how timely, all is well. I tell myself to look around and see your hand at work. I tell myself to ponder and pray and listen for your voice. I tell myself 1,000 times to watch and wait and hear and believe you are near and not far away. But allow me to say, at times like this, believing isn't enough. I don't want a timely word or spiritual insight, and I don't want knowledge or courage or even healing, and I don't want visions or revelations or an epiphany moment or, heaven forbid it, a pastoral visit. All I want is to be held and hugged and loved, and to know and be told without doubt or question and with absolute childlike assurance in the way that only you know how, that you are right here, right now, my Father, my friend, my Saviour, my King, my Lord and Maker of everything. Or is that too much to ask?
Oh my. Just a moment.
Wow.
That was extraordinary, Ricky.
Okay, I'm just a minute, because I would like another one before we go.
Okay.
That comes from. That sounds to me that comes from a seriously personal point of view. Is that too much to ask you?
No, it's that it's not too much to ask. It is my experience that. The thing I've learned most is that at the heart of my faith is a paradox, and that seems to that God's absence and God's presence are two intermingled things, and it is as Jesus said to his disciples, "Look," he said, "I've got to go away in order to be with you." And which is interestingly, it's Pentecost now, so here we are, and there is I find that I was writing something recently. It feels sometimes like walking on a tightrope, and I love the fact Henry Nouwen used to love. I don't know if people know that Henry Nouwen was a wonderful writer and he used to talk about the trapeze artist. And one of the things that he said about the trapeze artists was that he was fascinated by them, and that the catcher is the important person, not the one who's doing the fancy work. And there is a sense in which we are all of us on a high wire act. And that tension is something we're called to, but the thing that keeps us steady is a walk of faith. And I don't know how sometimes I manage that, but I suddenly realize that at the end of the day, it's about, it is the paradox of, in order to do, it's the mastering the art of doing nothing.
Yeah. This is very deep stuff, and I think actually you're going to speak to a lot of people out there. A lot of people in our community, in the JV community, have suffered a lot, actually, physically, mentally. Some of them have never
and
quite
life
recovered.
Is a real struggle. Life is a real struggle for them.
So hearing that actually speaks their language. And here we go through the often that ascension deficit disorder, I think that I've got sometimes, that we come to Pentecost, going so that he might be with us, and that his spirit is with us is such a difficult concept. But you've got a final reading, haven't you?
Just for Pentecost, yeah. I did. I just wrote this briefly for Pentecost. It's called The Holy Whisperer.
Could we just ask you before you read this? Look, what a great. Yeah. It's gone like that, hasn't it?
Yeah. Well, actually, John Bowen said that. He said the fastest 2 hours in history.
It's just so quick, and we've got to have you back fairly soon because I think actually we need you. If you're available anytime in June, I think if you don't mind, because I think it's part 2. It's Ricky Everett.
There's so much that we know that you've got to say that we would love you to say. And
things that we talked about Nick Cave and about our own insecurities, about what we are, who we are as people. We've got to cover all that as well. But tonight we thank you. Thank you, Sue and I, as your friends. Thank you for coming in and sharing of yourself as well. That's all I ever ask. I don't. You wrote to me earlier, and a lot of people do when they come in. They say, if you've got a list of questions that we're going to just a chat. And actually, it reveals so much more. And we've learned a lot about you, but we'd like to learn more on the community. And you've helped so many people tonight. Read this for us. We'll sing a song, and then we'll say goodnight. And to all of you out there, and we hope that you've enjoyed this because it's been fun doing it. Read us out. You can say that.
They said you came like a rushing wind. To me, you always seem to be the whisperer. The soundless voice, the gentle word, the phrase that's said in season. They said you came with tongues of fire. To me, you always seem to be the comforter, the unexpected call when darkness falls like stone and the heart feels heavy and alone. They said you came with many voices. To me, you always seem to be the timely cup of coffee with a friend you seem to send at exactly the right moment. They said you came with signs and wonders. To me, you always seem to be the smile of a stranger, someone quite unknown who somehow knows my need of your reminder. They said you came with deafening noise. To me, you always seem to be a child's laughter, unfettered delight, a song from heaven, expressing and bringing more joy than any toy or gift. They said you came in many ways. To me, you will always be the windless breath, the softened voice, riding the wings of insistent love, always listening, always patient, holy whisperer, Ruach.
Very special. Very special.
Richard, you are quite a man. Thank you so much for that. And I think many of you will be replaying bits of this.
And people have asked if these are available in a book. So are these two available?
The first one was. The second one is
not yet.
Soon to be.
Well, it's I'm probably going to do a Soundbites 2 available from my website rather than in publication because it's too much of a faff.
Yes. And if you've got that, and if you would, we can post it on our website.
Yeah, do. Yeah.
And we'll take it and we'll just put it onto the website, and people can, particularly now at Pentecost. Sue, come and join us.
Okay.
Just one thing, have you got the information about...
I have.
Like, people, before we go, this is going to be slightly later than normal, but I think actually the show's so good, it's really...
exactly on time, isn't it?
Can we ask you to be the camera person?
Yes, Ricky.
Ricky.
Oh, yes.
Sorry, you're camera operator. Come on.
So what we want to explain is that we are thinking of trying to organise a get-together in the south of England at St Catherine's, Stuart Macready's retreat centre near Marlow. And we've been kicking it around with him for a little while, and the sort of suggestion is that because the weekends are full, is that perhaps we try as a starter, as the first thing, a Wednesday, and that we do a day together And if you need to stay overnight, you can. That's something that you can organise. But those of you who are more local, you don't need to do that.
Now, what is it we're trying to get together for? We're trying to get together for us to be together, and not unlike what Ricky was just saying, a cup of coffee, a meal, a chat. Because often what happens, as I remember something Ricky said years ago, that over communion, Jesus uses the most simple elements. I remember this up at the cathedral. You talked about it. It stuck with me the most because he knows how bad our memory was. What do we always have to do? We have to eat and we have to drink. So when you do it in remembrance of me. But also when we come, nearly every interaction of Jesus ends up in a meal or starts in a meal or something about food. And so we meet together, we chat together, we do something. We'll have some special events that we'll put on. I'll do a concert for you in the evening. Now, the thing about this is it can only, for indoor events, we can only fit into the chapel 60 people. Now, that's very small compared to a lot of you out there. And we'd like to do it, and we'd like to do it again and again, and maybe find, and then, if we need to, find other venues. The cost, Sue, what would it be for people?
Stuart and I chatted about this earlier. I think if you're going to come and spend the whole day, so you would have lunch and dinner, that would be just over £50, I think, £51, I think we worked out. But we'll probably do something with that. So about £50. If you want to stay overnight, that was an extra £34, I think. But I could have got that wrong. Which is, I need to look that up.
It takes you up to about £90.
Takes you up to about £90 if you're going to stay the night, and you get breakfast in the morning, obviously.
Of course, you have to build in travel to that, but we can try and talk about that later.
But essentially, we need to know if anyone would be interested in doing this. So a couple of dates that we have got in mind are the 27th of September or the 15th of November. So that's the 27th of September and the 15th of November. Both are Wednesdays. And you can either come on the Tuesday and stay over, or you could... Oh, stop it. Your clock talking to us.
It just said to us, 2200
Doesn't make any difference, I can tell you. So have a think about it. Let us know if you are interested, because if you are, I mean, you've got the numbers, then we will go ahead and we'll book the date.
How are they going to let us know, Sue?
That's a very good question.
And that the answer is on Facebook Messenger. All of us pretty much are on Facebook Messenger.
Yes.
So if you'd like to write to us and say, we're interested, you can do that. I think actually you can write to Sue at
Sue at jonathanveira.com.
Alternatively. And just contact us in whichever way. Just write to us, say, yes, I'm interested. Those dates appear to me, but I'm working, I can't do it. We just want to know if you can do it. We'll fix up a programme, and I think actually that it might be a little moment of retreat. Yeah. We've got various people that we can use, and actually, having listened to Ricky now, it might be a rather lovely thing, you as a spiritual director coming and doing something during the day. It would be a lovely thing to do. Yeah. It's a beautiful retreat house over near Marlow, and it's just it's commutable for us. But it's the kind of thing that we want to get. We want to have fun. We want to have some good fun, some great music, some sketches. Yeah, something people can read them and see what play around. Anyway,
lovely
ideas. That's the thing. We're going to finish now, and we'll talk about it next week again in more detail.
Yes.
And see what your response is. Remember, it's your community, and you do it. We will facilitate this because this is what we do. And we'll provide equipment and sound equipment and things like that. And Stuart is going to provide the food and the accommodation and the grounds. He's very generously letting us use the chapel for
60 people.
60 people in the chapel, which will be, that's everything in. And it would be lovely to meet some people that we don't know. We might be able to bring some instruments along and play along as well, do some work with that. In the meantime...
It could be happy, organised chaos.
It could be. Well, I don't mind organised. It could be like this. Happens as it happens. We've loved being back. It's lovely to see you. Let's have the Go Peaceful thing up, please, Rach. And here we go before we go. And we just bless Rachel because she is just brilliant. She's been right on the ball. And it's been lovely, Ricky meeting Rachel, and both people of the theatre. We're all people of the theatre. And it's lovely to see you back with us in JB Live from the Steinway room. We'll see you next week. Same time, 8 o'clock. We'll have something. I don't know. I'm going to think of something. I'll bring in, I don't know. I'll dress slightly differently. I'll put a different hat on. How about that?
You could make make your hair messy.
I'll make my hair bed hair.
A bit of a wig on. I dare you.
Go peaceful in gentleness through the violence of these days. Give freely, show tenderness in all your ways.
Now, all the way from the Steinway room, here she is, star of stage and screen, Veira.
Through darkness, in troubled times, let holiness be your aim. Seek wisdom, let faithfulness burn like a flame. God speed you, God lead you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love.
And this week, particularly, I want you to have in your memory a lady called Val Donahue. Val's been part of the community, Val and Richard. And sadly, a very, very lovely, lovely man Richard was. He died only a few days ago. I talked to him just a few days before on text. And he went into hospital and died. He had cancer. And we think of him as they prepare for the funeral on the 12th of June. But Richard was one of those men who, he was the man that is a lovely Methodist minister, a man of integrity and a man I looked up to. And I will miss him quite greatly, actually, but not half as much as his family, I'm sure. So we think of Richard and Val Donahue, Richard tonight.
Be righteous, speak truthfully in a world of greed and lies. Show kindness, see everyone through heaven's eyes. God hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love. God hold you, enfold you, and keep you wrapped around his heart. May you be known by love.
And as we leave you again at the final blessing we always sing together, and you can sing it along with us. The Lord
We
bless
know
you
you
and
do.
keep you. We know you do. Watching us on Facebook and YouTube. We recommend in the future, watch us on YouTube and have Facebook turned down, and then you can make comments and join us. We welcome anybody who's new to
Yes, we do.
the room, and people we were down in Sheringham last week. What a fantastic concert that was. And this is the Lord bless you from Numbers chapter 6, way back in the Old Testament. Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you. And the Lord bless you and give you his peace. We pray that for all of you, particularly people like Cindy tonight, who's gone through so much and those visions of
What she
things
saw.
that she saw. But for so many of you tonight, here we go. This is the Lord bless you.
The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you and give you his peace.
give you His peace, and give you His The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn His face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord turn His face toward you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and be gracious to you, and be gracious to you. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face to shine on you. The Lord bless you and keep you, and give you His peace, and give you His peace.
Sorry we're so late, but hey, what a great evening we've had tonight.
It's been lovely. We've enjoyed being back with you tonight. Thank you so much for sticking with us
And
and
thank you
returning.
To Rich and Everett.
Yes. Yeah.
Bye-bye, Ricky, and thank you. See you again.